What's going on, guys? So we are out here at the property. We have our 2024 Ford F450 Platinum in front of us. This truck I purchased about, I'm gonna say, going on 9 months ago, maybe a little longer than that, but we've had it for 7,500 miles, and it's been a really good truck. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you a quick update. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so picked this truck up because the truck that I had ordered was canceled several times because of supply issues. They weren't able to actually build my truck, even though I had placed an order for a 23 model and then a 24 model. And then after the end of the year started approaching, I realized very quickly that I'm not going to get the truck that I ordered and it would have been canceled. But I am very, very happy that I found this 2024 Ford F450 Platinum with the high output 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel engine in it, because had I opted to change to a 25 model, there were some features that are actually no longer available that I was able to get on my truck, and that really makes me happy that I got the 24 model. What I like about the 24 is that, from what I've been told, they ironed out a lot of the initial production issues they had with the 23 model, and it's as reliable as the 25 model, except I have some features that you can no longer get on the 25 model. So let's talk about some of those. First and foremost, one that's really important to me, and I feel bad for Mark and Trish over at Keep Your Daydream because they had to add it to their truck, and I don't think it was an inexpensive addition. Let's show you. This right here. Now, I may be wrong, but I believe that there is no configuration of the new Super Duty that you can get with that keypad on the side anymore from the factory. I believe you have to get it added as a dealer add-on. And that's kind of sad because this is something they've been doing for a long time, and to eliminate it as kind of a standard feature on higher trim models at least was a bit of a letdown for me, to be honest. So I'm really glad that my truck already came equipped with that and I didn't have to have that added. So that's really cool. In 2025, I believe I would have had to have that feature added. Next, we have our power down and power up tailgate, but the parking sensors on the tailgate and the camera at the end of the tailgate, I do not believe are an option for the new truck. Now, I think you may be able to get the parking sensor still. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they removed both the parking sensor and the camera. Now, I'm going to admit I have found value in them when they came into play, and I didn't realize that they were coming into play. What does that mean? I'm backing up to something, tailgate's down, and these essentially reminded me my tailgate was down. Now, the perk of this, however, is the fact that you actually can back up with your tailgate down without risk, hopefully, of hitting your tailgate. The parking sensors definitely help, but the camera can let you at least see that you're getting close to something. The perspective is kind of odd, and I would definitely say it's not going to be super useful in terms of really gauging how close you are to something, but it certainly is a visual reference to something that you're backing up to, and I do like the fact that I have that feature. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if I'm going to have problems with it. I do have like a 10-year extended warranty on this truck that does cover the technology, so that's really nice. And if I have a problem with the camera, the sensors, or any of that stuff, I think that will probably be taken care of under that warranty. A lot of people also criticize this feature right here, which is the electric up feature for the tailgate. A lot of manufacturers now offer that. I know both Ram and General Motors offer that in certain configurations of their trucks. I know a lot of people are super concerned if that's going to last very long, if it's going to fail, if it's going to go out. But again, with the warranty that I have, it should cover that if it were ever to fail. I love that feature though, because there are so many times I'm carrying something heavy out of the back of the truck. It's raining. I just don't want to have to go back out to the truck to raise the tailgate. And the fact that I can either raise it from the inside of the truck from my remote or just nudge it with my knee and it will start to go back up is absolutely a great feature, and it comes in handy all the time. Especially, you know, the other day I was carrying a bunch of bags of corn and they're kind of heavy and they're awkward, and there's no way that I'd be able to lift the tailgate while carrying the corn at the same time, and this gave me the ability to grab it and just nudge it with my knee and the tailgate would go up on its own. From a reliability perspective, I have had absolutely zero issues with this truck, other than the fact that I think Ford could have done a better job of blocking rodent access into the engine compartment and behind the dash. Because if you've watched my videos now for a while, you probably saw the video where a large rat actually got into the inside cab of my truck, through an opening that I made like 4 videos showing how I plugged that up to prevent that from happening again. And that is just, it's just a really, really dumb thing that I think Ford could have addressed from the very beginning. That said though, you know, I had my red truck for 7 years, my red F450 King Ranch that this replaced, and I never got any rodents inside of it, and it had the same opening, same size. It may have just been a really lucky rat who was searching around long enough and found a way to get in. But I plugged that area up, plus several other areas that I saw were ways that rats could get into, like the air intake, into certain areas of the truck, and I think I kind of went a little overkill on that, but it's something that I was glad that I did, and it's just a little bit more peace of mind that I enjoy. Love the 10-speed automatic transmission. This thing shifts buttery smooth. It is a really, really smooth driving truck. Plenty of power. I can definitely feel a little bit of the power difference, but at times I feel like it's more of a shifting difference in the truck. This truck has a tremendous amount of power, 500 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque. It is an absolute hauling beast, and we have had absolutely no mechanical issues with the truck at all. The truck does go through a lot of software updates. The good thing is apparently those software updates can be pushed out to the truck at night, so you don't even have to have the truck running like you did in the past, where you had to sit out there for like 45 minutes to an hour while an update was being done, and you had to have your vehicle running the entire time it was being done. So I love the fact that that is now something that is done kind of behind the scenes, and it doesn't apparently draw too much off the battery, so you don't have to worry about that. This truck has a few things that are different than my previous F450. One of them is that this one does not have the camper prep package up front, which means it does not have the extra heavy-duty front service suspension, which I have grown to love the fact that it doesn't. This truck drives remarkably smoother. When I say drives, it rides remarkably smoother than the outgoing F450 I had, and I thought the outgoing model was actually pretty dang smooth for the size of truck it was. So this one, even with the big bumper on the front, which really didn't have any impact on the front suspension, it didn't squat at all after adding the big bumper and winch up front, it rides so much smoother than the outgoing model. Some of the other tech I love with this truck is the fact that it does have the onboard scales, which means as long as I don't modify the suspension, a lot of people are asking if I'm going to add airbags or Kelderman or any other type of suspension enhancements. I'm not going to, because those onboard scales are super cool. The ability for me from the dash to see approximately how much weight I'm resting in the back of the truck or in the truck period is such a advantage over not having that yeah, I absolutely don't need to mess with the suspension. I keep kind of toying with the option of adding airbags to the truck, but then I realize even under 3,600 pounds worth of pin weight, plus the toolbox, plus everything I have in the bed, plus people, the truck still doesn't squat, and it still has a level stance. So there's really no reason for me to add any type of suspension enhancement system to this truck, especially if it's going to reduce the accuracy or eliminate the ability for me to use my onboard scales. So yeah, that's a reason why that's not going to happen. This has all of the smart towing features as well, and the backup features where I can use the little remote and I can back up to a trailer. It's the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. I've never used it. I honestly don't think I will ever use it unless I'm just doing it to demonstrate a video to you all. I don't think there's a lot of people that get a dually that don't know how to back it up. Just that's my gut feeling, at least. Maybe some people don't, but I personally like backing up myself. I feel every single time I do it, it's a skill enhancement, it's a skill test. And there are scenarios where I even struggle backing up, and I don't think I want to use some type of a fancy system to help me do it. One of those areas is when I go to the landfill. This is one of those areas that drives me crazy. When you're at the front of the line and they've just gotten done clearing all of the lanes, and it's this huge basketball-sized court, or probably like 4 times the size of a basketball, and you're the next one up, and they want you to back up in the very middle where you have no frame of reference to anything around you to back up straight. And it's kind of funny because I struggled doing that this last time. I was super embarrassed, and then the guy next to me is backing up and he's running into the same scenario because they kind of put him in his own little space. And then we both get out and we're kind of talking, and he owns a company that picks up trash and picks up all sorts of crazy stuff with his dump trailers, and he even said, yeah, it's kind of stressful when you're the one on a completely blank pavement pad and you're trying to back up completely straight with nothing to reference off of. Anyways, yeah, even people who back up a lot sometimes have issues. Actually, share a story if you have an issue ever backing up and you're good at it. So that's one of those scenarios where I'd love to hear other stories. Aside from that, there are just so many really, really great things about this truck. I love the interior. I know people are going to ask about that. Got all sorts of crap in the door right here. This truck is the Platinum trim. Love the seats, love the entire setup right here. It has the full LCD display there, as well as the larger screen over here. It did not have a camera backup mirror, but I added one, and I have several videos on me adding that system, and it works really, really well. This does have the projector headlights and high beams, both low beam and high beam, with auto leveling and auto rotating, which is a feature that I think all trucks should have, honestly. I don't think you should have to pay for that. Basically, if I put the fifth wheel weight in the bed of the truck, or a lot of weight, and the back kind of squats down just a little bit, the headlights are going to level themselves back to the road so they're not pointing up, blinding oncoming traffic. That happened a lot with my old F450. When I was hauling the RV, I would have people that were flashing me all the time on the road because I was blinding them, because the truck, which normally sits at a rake, was sitting like this, but it caused the headlights, which are normally aimed down at the road, to aim up into people's eyes. And I am not the kind of person that wants to create that type of hazard on the road. So I love the fact that if you get this in Platinum or Limited trim, and I don't think they even make a Limited anymore, I think it's the Platinum Plus, but if you get it in those trims, that you get the auto leveling and the auto rotating headlights. Not a big fan of how the fog lights work, though. The fog lights, if you don't have them on, they're going to turn on automatically with your turn signal when you're going slow, or if you're cutting the wheel one way or the other. So if I turn the wheel to the left going a slow speed, that fog light's going to turn on. I wish I could turn that feature off. I may be able to from the screen. Basically, I just want them to come on when I want them to come on, and off when I turn them off. From a payload capacity perspective, this truck has 4,941 pounds worth of payload capacity, which is about roughly 200 pounds more than my outgoing King Ranch. And this truck is so much more equipped than that truck. The main structural difference to the truck is the fact that this does not have a sunroof, which is absolutely awesome. When I got this truck, funny story, and some of you already know it, I did not know when I put a deposit down on this thing, because the dealership had it and I was trying to get it as quickly as I could before they sold it to someone else, that it didn't have a sunroof. It actually took me, after I filmed it, after I did everything at the dealership, pulling out of the parking lot for my wife to tell me, isn't it cool that it doesn't have a sunroof? And I'm like, wait, what? And I looked up and there was no sunroof on the truck, and that kind of blew me away. So yes, I do not like sunroofs. I know a lot of people do. That's great if you do. Down here in South Texas, it gets so dang hot that a lot of people just will never use it because of the humidity and the heat, and it creates a lot of heat that radiates through it into the cab. And it is also something that breaks because the plastic gets brittle, and after a while, if you don't use it a lot, the rails can break, just like I experienced with my previous F450. It can lead to a very, very expensive repair. Thankfully, my truck was under warranty when it happened, but now it's something I just don't have to deal with, and instead, I have a flat roof that has no sunroof going through it, which, for me, that is awesome. So, not a big fan of sunroofs, and I'm very glad that my truck does not have a sunroof. The step on the side right here actually comes in really handy, and the step in the back corner actually comes in really handy. I know there were some folks when I first got the truck that were like, you're not going to really use it because it doesn't work real well, but I'm going to tell you, when I am connecting to the Goosebox on the fifth wheel, this actually does come in really handy because I can just simply grab around the side here. I can pull myself up, and I can get into the bed of the truck much easier than I could trying to climb over the tire and then get my leg over the dually fender to get into the bed. So that comes in really handy. Getting down from the truck, on the other hand, is really the same process as before. I slide down over the side because trying to find that step is a bit of a hazard, so I don't do that. I don't have the step that deploys beneath this. I've been thinking about adding it. That was a feature that I had checked the box on when I was ordering my truck, but since I didn't get it, that feature didn't come, so I don't have that feature. I'm thinking of adding it, and essentially what it is a step that folds down right here, and it brings the step out a little bit more, so it's a little easier. Uses it kind of like a stair. They also make one for the back right here, which can pop down. Don't think I'll need that one, but the one on the side would definitely come in handy, I believe. Do I miss the Alcoa wheels that I had? I don't. To be honest with you, I like them. I love the way they look. Do I wish I had them? Kind of, but I love the fact that these are so well balanced. This truck is completely stable and smooth at like 80 miles an hour. I can go probably top speed in this truck and there's no vibration or shaking at all. That's not something that any previous F450 I think I could ever claim had. So the two F450s before, you hit 75 miles an hour and your seat's doing this number. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update on the truck. So far, it has been performing flawlessly, no major issues at all. And yes, I definitely love the way it looks. I am still a little on the fence about doing this top part right here in black. A lot of people are saying I should do it. It'll really make the truck stand out without looking trashy, without looking junky. Leave a comment below on that. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about doing this upper portion right here, the cab, in black. My only concern is if I do the rooftop in black, it's going to make a lot more heat come in, and it's just one more thing I have to worry about. So that is the only real reason why I'm on the fence about it, but I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Real quick, want to say big shout out to Flog. They kind of sponsored the bumper build on the front of the truck. Looks absolutely fantastic. We installed a super winch in here, 18,500 pound rated super winch in here. Super winch was purchased by Weston. That's why you see the Weston logo right there. But this thing is the Tiger Shark. It is an absolute beast. Parking sensors on the front, cameras all the way around. This thing has been absolutely phenomenal. Anyways, again, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you have a new Super Duty, how you feel about it. If you've had problems with it, if you haven't had problems, if you have both the high output or the non-high output 6.7 liter, let me know what issues you've had, if it's been working well for you, and what you tow. I would love to know that as well. Plus, if you have pictures of your tow rig, regardless of the brand, it doesn't matter, send them to me. I'd love to see what you're towing with, and maybe they'll appear on the community section of my page. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.